Namaste, my dear yogis. Welcome to my space. I'm Grail, and today I want to highlight super important topic: the myths around enlightenment itself, about the process of spiritual awakening, the experience, and about awakened, enlightened people. Let's go. Subscribe, share this video, and like. I want to expand my channel because the knowledge I'm sharing is really helpful on spiritual path. Not to be trapped anywhere. Don't make my mistakes. I learned a lot of teachings, read metaphysical books, and so on. So we are going straightly to the goal, to our happiness, no matter what. I think there will be about 11 points, and at the end, I will tell you what is enlightenment, how it's felt, how life changes. Again and again, I will be repeating like broken record all the time these things because I know how our brain works. It should rewire and accept new information, logically unpack everything, and then at least if you know what is not enlightenment, you can easily go to the true experience. The first point is that we as enlightened being have some shape, sex, age, and so on. No, who we are real has no shape. We are transparent, the transparency itself, the presence itself. You can perceive yourself as a shape of the environment you can see around you, but actually you are something which perceives reality, but it's not personality. It has no qualities. It's totally neutral. It's absolute nothingness, perception, inside which there are different forms, objects, including this body. The second point is about transcendental experiences themselves. You will never confuse the real samadhi experience with any other experiences. So, some experiences, including expansion of heart, love for everyone, pictures of angel, Jesus, or other mysterious characters during meditation, or some downloading, what else? A lot of pictures. Usually they share that I have vibrations, I have this or that. It's also not actual spiritual awakening experience. It's not samadhi. Samadhi is when you change the perspective of your perception. You are perceiving yourself as the space, and all colors are inside you, all forms are you at the same time, but you have no evaluations. What is that? You just are. The feeling that I am this whole thing. And at this moment, usually personality dies. So there is no one inside the body. The body is perceived as a form which exists, yes, has its unique identity, but at the same time, it's not me, Lisa. Third point, that someone can channel you enlightenment. He can force you to awaken right now. No, it's not possible. You can be in his field, you can capture his words and somehow feel what it is about. But even if you are with me in dialogue, I can lead you. But this shift of perception should happen only by you. Sometimes it's like insight, like Eureka. Sometimes it's very long erasing of old conceptions of who you are. Because ego doesn't want to die to the end. It will be holding on to you as strong as it can, manipulating you, making you believe that you are victim, and so on. It's, I think it's like a game, like a rebus. You need to solve this issue and realize, stabilize, and then you will be living your true scenario. Sure, you are already enlightened. Everyone is awakened. As I told you many times, in childhood, we were perceiving ourselves as something without gender. Just remember your early age. You were super excited about anything around you, any shapes, any forms, any tastes. It was like discovering some kind of reality which was not available to you before, because we are the absolute consciousness, and consciousness itself created this reality to experience this hologram, this game, so real that we fall asleep and we identify ourselves with the body, with the character. But actually, we are endless. We will never die and we will never born. You will realize it once you experience real samadhi. And after initial samadhi, you should be focusing your attention in this new perspective of perception more and more. Otherwise, you will return back into personality. And you will have some memory. You can even cling to the same experience, but it's only a desire of the mind, of ego, to catch this sensation again. And it's very good because without this willingness to experience again and again, we cannot move further. So once you experience this, you need to be striving to concentrate and to enter dynamic meditations as often as you can to be stable in this perception. The fourth myth and some kind of fear of many people before enlightenment during the process of the dark night of the soul, when we are losing ourselves, we are dying actually as a personality, and we are again born as a consciousness. Fear that I will lose my personality, my character, my identity. I will lose all my desires. I will be like vegetable sitting under the tree in this frozen state, and I won't ever achieve my goals, and so on. By my actual experience, because I also had such fear, I couldn't understand with my mind how I can operate the body if actually body lives its own life, because there is no one inside the body. There is no monkey who comments, who commands, and even directs you to do this or that. It's not obtainable by the mind, actually. But in the process, you will understand that there is not desire, not impulse, but I would say priority that you want to experience. You are so connected to the informational field itself because you are this space that moment by moment, the body will be doing everything only what it wants. You will never convince your body with your mind that you need to do this or that, eat this or that. You are the body itself, the sensual perception itself, not the ideas of the mind, not conceptions about nutrition, including. You have no limits in beliefs. The programs which were downloaded to you, in most of the programs, I would say, they just erased. But if before enlightenment, for instance, you were doing some business which really has a response in your heart and not from your ego, not fake goal, then surely nothing will change. You will be doing the things you love as before enlightenment, as well as after enlightenment. It's very interesting because here is the red flag. After enlightenment, you will surely get rid of some ideas or material objects which you wished for. For instance, you were dreaming about huge house. After enlightenment, you may reconsider. So the beingness will understand that it's not necessary, and there is another priority in your experience, which should be now, and now, and now, moment by moment. The next point is that enlightenment is available only to some unique people or to some culture. I mean, this is actual perception, how it should be in each person. No matter where this person lives, in which culture, country, he can always realize his true nature. I think this term, to realize your true nature, true perception, is the only term actually which can be applicable to the sensation of who you are. Another point, which is like super popular myth about enlightenment, is that you need to stop your thoughts. Thoughts will never stop, no way. Maximum that you will achieve, that they will be super silent somewhere far on the background. You will monitor these thoughts and not attached to them. You won't be strengthening this snowball of thoughts because it will drain your attention. But if you trained your attention to be present and to perceive what you see, what you hear, what you smell, and so on, sensual perception actually, there is no space for thoughts anymore. And they are not so attractive. It's not attractive to dream about future or not attractive to stuck in your past. Any direction, past or future, cause pain, especially past. If your mind caught you in some previous experiences, no way you will be suffering. If you remembering about some good event, you will be comparing to you now, and maybe the past was better in your consideration, so it will cause you pain and these sweet memories. And then you can say, oh, the times are gone, I will never be as happy as I was before, and so on. It's a trap. And if bad experiences, it's even worse because actually the body changed. It renews moment by moment, but we somehow go to the childhood traumas again and again, trying to heal something which is not existing anymore. That's why I think that psychology is good, to introspect, to realize why you behave like this right now, because you had the basis of these traumas and this painful experience. But once you detach from these traumas, you will understand that there is no need to suffer right now, because now no one bullying me, no one insulting me. Why I need to nourish my structures, my cells, my body with suffering? So you see that it's useless. And about the future is the same. You can dream a lot, but on the background there can be hesitations like, what if I never achieve this? I will be suffering. Or, oh, if there is insecurity, not like pure intention, then you can stuck in your dreams and not do anything in reality right now to achieve your dream. Once you enlighten, there is like priority, like a intention, the picture. I want this. It would be great to do this, like this. Not as I want to achieve. If I won't achieve either, I will be suffering. Like the goal itself is not as important as actual path to the goal. So don't try to stop your thoughts. They will only strengthen. If you direct your attention to thoughts, they will catch you. Another thing, how it's described in Vadim Zeland's Tafti the Priestess book, audiobook, very cool technique. Usually, person is inside in thoughts, assessments, judgments, ruminating, this vicious cycle of thinking, or outside, perceives people, how they behave, given like cliche, oh, this is beautiful, this is not, this is silly, this is wise, this is sexual, and so on. We are given assessments all the time. But to come back to normal perception, you should imagine that you are in between these two sides. You are not within in your thoughts and thinking, and not outside in judgments. You just like a middle screen that perceives but not given any judgments. It just walks, talks, as if talking happens on its own. You communicate with people, but at the same time you're present. You see some shape, you see some face, you hear some voice, but there is no judgment about it. You only perceive the energy, and even if person speaks some kind words, deep down you immediately capture some discrepancy, some tension, or some lies. So you become super perceptive, like psychic. And you know what? Also, you can easily obtain telepathy, because if there is no race of thoughts in your head, you can read person instantly. Even animals have this ability in nature to be psychics, to be extrasensory. But we lost this basic function due to our mind, that we are constantly blurred with this distortion of perception. The next point, point number 7, is that you need to destroy and kill ego. No, it's not true. Without ego, there is no spiritual path. Who will be searching who he is if not ego? Usually, ego suffers so much from its own experience that it wants to become free. And this question, who am I, why I'm living, is very important. Those people who are not asking, they won't enlighten. So ego is helper. Even this impatient ego or ego with pride, even the ego who is on spiritual path thinks that he knows more than other people, that he is enlightened, like white monkey I told you in previous video. It's very important. These stages are leading to actual experience. And then ego will become smaller. It cannot react when someone insults you anymore because you are so centered, you know who you are, and you are full of acceptance of your space, of your perception. So the body itself has no qualities. It's just some object inside you. So there is no conception that, oh, am I beautiful or not? So the body takes care about itself, and most likely bad habits will go away because there will be a feeling of love to yourself, but not necessarily again, because as they say, you need to get rid of all bad habits before enlightenment. Otherwise, the body will keep on doing some things which it used to do, like automatically, like a programmed machine. So appreciate your ego. It directs you. Also, ego is like a seed, is like the center, the heart. Ego center, like in human design, they say, that knows what your soul desires, what experience it wants to receive. And it's very important because without ego, we are vegetables. The next point, point number 8, the myth about enlightened people. Most of us think that enlightened people are somehow higher, or they are saints. They are always kind and loving and so on. But actually, you are becoming just who you should be with your exclusive, unique traits of character. I have a very funny example. When I was a kid and I was not perceiving myself as Lisa, who was often a good girl Lisa, I was very funny and naughty girl. I was doing some very crazy tricks sometimes. And I remember that when I was 5 or 4, my aunt wanted to punish me. I don't remember what exactly happened, but she was yelling at me. And me, as a naughty kid, I made a trick. I put her dirty boots on her bed. So you are who you should be. You just return back to your childhood, I would say, but with some information, wisdom, and ability to evolve with your consciousness and go further and discover new abilities of yourself, unpack your DNA if you want, to have your basic things like telepathy, extrasensory, and some talents which were squeezed. So if I'm enlightened, I can have sex, I can go out, I can be flirting. The personality can be the character in the game because it's following its script and it has its own characteristics. That's why there is no competition, I would say, because there is no one like this character in the world, and as you as well. And that's why the game is super beautiful. We're not robots. We are not all kind and saint. I can yell much easily at someone if I'm angry in the moment than before. Before I was suppressing this anger. Now I can say truth straightly in face, and it might be painful. It might sound mean, but I'm not afraid because I know I accept the whole situation, and my behavior is unpredictable in some way, like psychopath. No, for sure not. But if it's applicable to the moment, I can be sometimes even super dangerous. If someone attacks me, I will do anything inside the game to keep the game going. to save the body, which is in me, but at the same time, I will be perceiving those who are attacking me as myself. Most likely, there are not so much situations, conflicts, and so on after enlightenment, because the energy itself is perceived by other people as something like home. Like you return back to your home and you are so harmonious that most likely you won't experience suffering as before, because the body of pain, the victim inside, is dead, and you are not attracting this. You don't have to play these games around and around. In reality, it's not interesting. You have another priority, like a space of the game. But again, it's not a rule. It's not like the strict meaning of what I'm saying, because we remember Jesus, he was suffering. Not him, but the actual experience can be perceived from the outside like grief, like drama, like something which is out of morality, what they done to him. At the same time, he, as enlightened master, was telling his students, please don't cry. I'm not hurt. There is no one inside who can be hurt. And this is very important. What unifies all enlightened people is that they are not attached to any negativity. They have no duality in perception. So if something bad happens, you accept as a must and with no judgments. There can be only feeling that it happens as it should happen, and it's ideal, it's perfect in its ugliness, in its pain, even if the body has pain. And this is completely different perception, as you understood, because in personality, we are suffering even out of distortions of our mind. For instance, someone wrote you some message and your mind captured this in its meaning. So in subjective perception, you think that someone wanted to insult you, but the thing is that not. And these distortions happening all the time. Another myth, which is also can happen and be super attractive to our small ego before enlightenment, is that once you're enlightened, you can fly, you can levitate right away. You can become superhero. I think that with the time of the further expansion, if the soul wants, if this is priority, it really can obtain some siddhi, because siddhi are given only to those who are already without ego, without big ego. Otherwise, it's like to give some serious object or technology to monkey. Monkey will use it against other people, manipulating and so on. So we really can do some things, but usually masters are not telling about these things. Only to open the door and to give some understanding of your true nature, that you should understand that you are not victim, you are not flesh, which can be ruled by something, but you are creator, you have all qualities of God, of a big consciousness. Inside this small scenario, inside this small film, you can be creator of your own reality. And that's why I constantly tell you that if such option as rejuvenation is applicable to your life experience, then you can easily reprogram yourself in these states. That instant healing happen during process of spiritual awakening and expansion of consciousness is truth. Why it happens? You know, even physiologically, when we are not tensed, all body fluids are going very fast. Blood circulation, lymph flow, immune system boosts, and so on. We have very strong central nervous system. As I was repeating again and again, that enlightened person is person who has regulated all glands in his brain and cerebral hemispheres. So it's like referential position, which is pure as in child, before the distortions and of programs and neural pathways which were installed during our life. So sure, you become a human being in its blossoming form, I would say. You are not in pain, you're not suffering, you're not toxified by the steroids and hormones of stress. So you can logically live as long as you want. You can rejuvenate. You can affect materia, this body, with space, with consciousness. It can even change something in appearance. And what I also noticed that each day I look differently. Like the shape itself changes very fast. It's not as stable as it was before enlightenment in 3D. Another myth, I don't remember which point it is, maybe point number 10, doesn't matter, that the path to enlightenment is super long, is super hard, and you need to obtain many things to enlighten. Actually not. Person with a healthy psyche, with less programs, and especially I want to put emphasis that the person who has no victim inside probably can enlighten faster. But again, only victim and suffering brings us to enlightenment. So you can enlighten right now, just refocusing your perception. And that's it. Or train this refocusing in dynamic meditations each day. I used many tools, lucid dreams, some techniques of reality transurfing, though I was not understanding the author, Vadim Zeland, because I was so suffering and deeply sleeping in victim that I could not keep myself out of negativity and reactions to pendulums. I was thinking that the world is against me. I was not perceiving myself as creator of my own reality. But after enlightenment, it's obvious. What else? Fastings, a lot of fastings, which are surely cool for the body. When we get rid of old information in our cells because we were growing on some type of nutrition, which was not very cool, and it was a bunch of food, and this all stuck inside the body, and the body cannot be free to free the energy of attention. We need energy of attention because when the body is sick, when the body is heavy, we are in the body, in the sensations and assessments like, I feel tired. And if you have not enough energy, it's very hard to enlighten. That's why on my way, I think that the best techniques were dynamic meditations, focusing attention in the moment as the first one, even not Kundalini yoga. The second one is, yes, fastings and herbal cleansing, because it cleansed my structures and nulled all my cells. And I helped my body to be a channel for receiving this energy, cosmic energy, consciousness itself. It can be named as you like, that I'm connected to the source, to ether, and I'm nourished with the energy, because me, myself, is not flesh. I am energy. There are subatoms, atoms, and other particles inside my cells with the space between them. So actually, if I zoom in, I see that I'm the whole universe, I'm the whole space. And Kundalini yoga, because it works with psyche, suppressed emotions, traumas, and brings our brain to referential position, and also heals our central nervous system and hormonal system. So we're not swinging so much on emotions. And when we heal the body out of all this suppressed tension, we again reveal our pure energy, we cleanse our channels. So yes, anyways, to accelerate the process is better to help the body, to help our brain to reset at hormonal level, and so on. So on my channel, I guess there are the best techniques for enlightenment. Here I also want to point that don't wait for experience of Kundalini awakening, Kundalini rising. I had no Kundalini rising. I just straightly went to observation myself as a transparent space. Any kind of tingling, vibrational sensations occurred many times before, but it was not actual samadhi. It's again some kind of step that you feel vibrations, you feel something is rising, and you feel like something moves inside your skull. And this is like only tuning of energies. But this total nothingness, when you die and you are born at the same moment, happens differently, and you will never confuse this experience with something else. And the last one, not myth even, I would say, just to clarify the terms, the term of higher self and lower self, or small ego, big ego. Thing is that after enlightenment, you are connected to the source, to informational field. That's why you have no questions, no hesitations. And you can be psychic in some way because you don't know why, but the information comes to you and you have no hesitations, no doubts. And even if after enlightenment, small ego wants to lead you astray out of very subtle remaining programs, let's imagine, so I faced this many times, you still like are confident and you don't listen to the voice of monkey anymore. You have your bold, stable position, and it can be, again, some limitations, but which only required for your experience. For instance, after enlightenment, I cannot say that now I can accept everyone, love everyone. It doesn't matter which body will be making sex with me, or that I'm interested in everything. Immediately, I'm interested in high mathematics. No, I have priority. I have this connection to my higher plan, and I have no hesitations. But at the same time, I'm still limited. For instance, I have cool example, Joe Dispenza. I'm wondering why, with such techniques, enlightenment techniques and alpha states of brain and this instrument to reprogram yourself, he was not reprogramming himself for rejuvenation or for malnutrition or for whatever. He's not interested. His focus of attention is not directed to these fields. There is no purpose of this soul of Joe, but if you have the call and you are super excited with this idea, if your soul feels pleasure out of realization that now you really can do many things, you choose among all variations something which your soul really wants. And you will never confuse the real desires of your soul with some kind of imposed fake. And this is beautiful. Not everyone should be mortal, look 20-year-old all the time, as not everyone wants to have children, for instance. After enlightenment, I only became more stable and more confident in my previous goals and my vision. For instance, since childhood, I never wanted children. And it's not connected to trauma. I had 3 sisters, have a big family. And usually kids who were brought in such big families also want to repeat the same experience and to have cool, big, friendly family. But in my case, it wasn't like this. I never wanted to get married as I felt that my way is not in this. Though, still, I'm super excited to love, to be loved, and this connection to man. I'm not monk, I'm not denying relationships, but as they call it, I'm child-free. Maybe after I fulfill all that I want to convey my knowledge, I want to play a role of a mother in some way, someday, somewhere, and I will be ready for this. Time goes, hormones in me are the same as in another female, but I never wanted children, though I love them so much. When I see children on the street, I'm smiling because they are so pure. They have no poker face, and they are so sincere. As you, as me, when we are enlightened, we becoming like kids again, more loving, sure, more friendly, less squeezed or something. Only at some situation when it's like threatened to the body, we can be squeezed and so on. But usually we just harmonious, we are pleasant, and people feel it and want to be in our company all the time. And it's cool benefit after enlightenment. You don't have conflicts. If you still have conflicts with your parents, family, it's not a good sign. You are only on the way, because usually all your space becomes more harmonious. You're not searching for drama anymore. You are living moment by moment, and it's super different. Neural pathways are very flexible with a new knowledge, new experience. So you are not working like a robot, like a mechanism which repeats itself again and again. So you even do not know what will be next. And it's super exciting. Hope I explained you as easy as I can in simple words what is enlightenment, who is enlightened person, and what happens during actual experience. If you have any questions, write down in comments. I really appreciate it. I want some feedback to have a basis for my next talks. And also, if you have some desire to work with me on 40 days marathon to reset your brain, to receive some knowledge from me, and to use me as a tool to accelerate your spiritual awakening, I'm here for you. Also, Zoom classes, herbal cleansing programs, membership with super exclusive and cool creas. And now what I noticed that I'm filming with this download of information. So my videos became more like improvisation, which is much more precious than the structured video out of the mind. I love you so much. I wish you very fast path without stuck in some traumas, in obstacles, and yeah, to return back to your true nature, to realize your true nature. Thanks for attention. Stay true and kind. The rest things never mind. Sat Nam.